performing a repositioning maneuver to align his aircraft from the show line. In a very short space, he will show you just how agile the aircraft is, demonstrating the superb nose authority and the ability of the F-18 to point at an adversary aircraft. He'll come in horizontal and then yank back on the stick and go straight up. This ability, combined with an awesome arsenal of air-to-air weapons, makes the Hornet a world-class fighter that is feared worldwide. This is the pitch rate Virginia. At Virginia Beach, it's the Master Jet Base. What Worm is going to demonstrate for you now is the ability of the aircraft to fly slow, and sometimes it's the slowest aircraft that has the greatest advantage in aerial combat. For those of you who are aviators, you understand the term angle of attack, or alpha. It's the number of degrees, in a very simplified fashion, that the nose is pulled up above the relative wind, or in this case, the horizon. We're going to go live to the cockpit and talk to Worm as he shows you how slow this airplane can go. As he approaches, the Liberty Parachute team coming down in the Ford Mustangs. Give them a wave as they go by. Now, hello Worm, this is Rob Ryder. Let's call some speeds on your high alpha pass, my friend.
We got around one at 150 knots right now. Throttles are idle, we're slowing down to about 120 knots.
Throttles and idles. 15. Power coming in.
There's 130 knots. 18 degrees angle of attack.
That's less than 140 miles an hour. 1/10 of the Hornet's top speed. 25 degrees nose up. With the afterburners going, to get into and out of the pipe, it's making a lot of noise, a lot of power. And he's going to back it down and pull the throttles back to idle. And it'll be very, very much quieter than it was before. Nearly the speed of sound, the throttles come back to idle. From the pounding of the afterburner sound to the sound of the F404 engine igniting. Now, for his next maneuver, Lieutenant Allen will demonstrate the technique used by every Marine Corps pilot to slow his or her aircraft preparing for landing. The Hornet will approach from the left and perform what is known as the overhead brake, which results in a decelerating 360-degree turn. Once the Garrett flaps are lowered, he'll approach and do what is called a touch and go, demonstrating the technique used by every aviator when he or she touches down. But here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Hornet Carrier. Right. Slowing down now to about 250 knots, or 280 or so miles an hour. Worm will lower the gear. He will then wait for a radio call from the landing signal officer, the LSO or paddles. He'll be on the radio. 15 seconds to align his aircraft with a runway. Hornet 1 3/4 of a mile, call the ball.
About 1 call, 6.1.
Rock and roll. Every time the aircraft touches down, the pilot shoves the throttles forward in case the tail hook misses the wires and does a motor. Touchdown. It's a constant angle of attack right down on the ground at an ascent rate of 600 to 700 feet per minute. It's a butt crusher is what it is. You're going to get a chance to take pictures in just a moment. And Lieutenant Fred Allen from the Gladiators of VFA 106 sets up for a photo pass on this, the last day of Oshkosh 2012. And let me ask, ladies and gentlemen, are you having a good time at Airventure? Get your cameras ready. He's going to come through at a very, very high-speed pass and then set up for the Navy's legacy flight.